Hey, what is up you guys, my name is Sub-Zero Exabyte and I am shooting right back at you today with another episode of Do Not Mess with Sub His Minecraft World. I know that I have never called it this before, but since people do not seem to leave me alone in this world, I will try to make it as clear as possible that people really need to stay out of here because I am getting sick and tired of this every day. So last week someone broke into my house again after I moved like 1,000 blocks away from my old house. So you might be thinking like, well Sub, what in the world are you doing right now? I mean, I am just throwing around with some blocks, right? Well no, you would be kind of wrong about that, because what I am doing right now is nothing less than necessary when people think that they can just fool around with my house and destroy my property and belongings. Now, having said that, I am going to be dedicating this video today to make the most secure house possible in the world of Minecraft. Even though this might sound a little bit over the top, I think that it is my right to secure myself and my house to the fullest range of my capabilities, and I am willing to pay a lot of Robux for these security measurements that I am going to be taking today. Because like I previously said, and before that, I am sick and tired of the fact that people seem to not care about any of my personal belongings in here. I mean, I have said this 1,000 times already and I am going to be saying this again. I only join into this Minecraft world whenever I need some peace and some rest and just some space in general. I mean, I got dumped by this beautiful lady this week and I am just tired of people stealing my stuff and all of that. So right now I am going to be protecting my house, and I am going to make sure that anyone who dares to still cross me with all of this, well, I am going to make sure that ends will meet with them, because I am not backing down from a fight, and I am not going to be putting down these arrows because I am Sub-Zero Exabyte and I am going to become a force to be reckoned with. Now with that said, I will still have to do a lot of things to actually get done with my security installations, but you know that will come with time, and I hope that the people who still think that they can just try and mess with me are able to see then that I am not someone that they can fool around with. Because like I said previously in this video, and as I have said in many other of these Minecraft videos, I only come here when I need some rest and relaxation and some peace of mind. So whenever I come around this place for any of those three things, and I come up to my house and I see that it is gone because some Herobrine guy decided that it was worth it to destroy my house, or for some random noobs to come crash into my world through some random portal that I have never seen before, well, that is just the time that I am going to be defending myself against these people to make sure that I can just use this beautiful world that we call Minecraft for my relaxation and some spa kind of like activities. Now that may sound weird, but you know, a man has got to do what a man has got to do to get some relaxing around here for himself, right? Now let's do this. Now it may not look like something with high-tech security right now, but once I am done with all of the building and construction, then you will be able to see that no one thief will be able to storm into my house and steal stuff. That is just how good I am at this, and that is just something that I like to do. I like to prove people wrong, and that is just the thing that I am going to be doing around here. Now let me quote you this from a book called Walden, written by Henry David Thoreau, and he says, and I quote, "If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put the foundations under them." So I feel like I have always been the one that was building castles in the air. Now need it be that I did that around here in Minecraft or Roblox or just in my head, that does not really matter. The essence of this quote is the fact that he says that you need to put the foundations underneath those air castles, and that will make sure that they become a reality. So the foundations are the hard work that one were to put in when doing something like that. Now I will be the one who is going to put the foundations underneath of my castles in the air or underwater. In this case, I am going to make sure that no one can mess around with the Sub-Zero Exabyte the Great anymore, and they will all regret ever crossing me. Now let's close this up with this fine keypad right here and choose ourselves a little nice color for the home, because I want something that matches the blue of the water, which will be looking totes amazing when we are done, and you will not get enough of it. And would you look at that, we did it, boys. This is stage 1 of my super awesome security project that is like going to be super awesome. I mean, I would not think that it would be anything less than awesome, just because, you know, I mean, come on people, take a look at me and you would see that I am just here to rule the world. I mean, I am not here to rule the world, just ignore the fact that I even said that, but I am here to rule over anyone who is trying to break the rules. I am a rule enforcer, as you would say, or you know, I could be more like a law enforcer. like the Coast Guard, because I am on the water. Oh my god, you guys, I am basically a police officer right now. That is amazing. I love and support the blue line. So shout out to any of the cops out there and stay safe. Now of course none of this would be able if I was not that much of a mastermind, and I am going to do everything that I can to be able to get this done and to make sure that no one will be able to ever mess with me again, because that is how I roll. I command and I conquer. You could see me like the new Donald J. Trump, but then less old than he is. Only I am not building a wall, because my wall is the water basically. Alright, so guys, please forgive me right now for what I am doing with this thing here, because I literally have no idea what I am doing right now. This is just some on the fly thinking right here, because I literally have no idea how to use all of this. So if you have any sort of tips and tricks for me, well, it will always be welcome of course. But right now I do not really have enough time to go look for some tutorials, because I will really need to make sure that no one finds me in the middle of this lake. I mean, no one will find me, right? I told that him to just go away a couple of minutes ago, so I hope that he respects that instead of following me or coming back with like a group of guys or something, because I usually get intimidated pretty quick and I am like a turtle. I will need a shell so that I can hide in there, and right now I do not have a shell, so this is basically my shell right now. I will have to make sure that I can get through this, otherwise I will not have my shell for whenever more people show up, and then well, that means that it is time to panic for me. It was like when you make a move in chess and just as you take your finger off the piece, you see the mistake you've made, and there's this panic because you don't know yet the scale of disaster you've left yourself open to. This literally describes what I am doing right now. That was a quote, by the way, from an author called Kazuo Ishiguro. I probably butchered the pronunciation on that name, but that does not matter right now. What matters is that this is a chess game and I am running out of plays to make, and I really do not want this one to end in a loss or a stalemate, because I will not be able to handle any one of those. But I just cannot stand this anymore. It just feels like I am getting crowded in my mind and I cannot handle it for one single bit right now. So once I am done with all of this, I am just going to check out for how long I can sleep in one sitting, and I am betting that it will be a very long time before I actually get back to being in an awake state. So you could kind of say that once I am done with sleeping, I am woke again, and that would be making me a woke person. That is like insane. But right now my sleep deprived self is starting to get into something right here. Maybe building a house like this is not the best thing to do. I mean, right now I am just throwing everything on defense, but we all know that offense is the best defense. So maybe I should just be getting smart on the ways of the noob and make sure that I am able to get behind them knowledge-wise. I will have to figure out exactly what those people do and how they operate in a non-hostile environment before it gets hostile, of course, because they always get hostile no matter what we do about something like that anyway. So I am just going to make sure that I am completely read up on all of their noob strategies and their language and all of that stuff. So take some milk, sit down, and kids, get ready to learn. And the topic of today's Learning with Sub-Zero Exabyte will consist out of some really cool footage of me building houses and destroying blocks while I try to get as smart as humanly possible on the noob kind, which is going to be very tricky. At least that is one of my first guesses right now. So apparently the first thing to learn is that the word noob is taken from the word newbie, which is spelled N-E-W-B-I-E. So that might not be as interesting as I thought that it would be, but at least it will kind of keep you heading into the right direction overall. Now, noob is a slang term for a novice or a newcomer, or somebody inexperienced in any profession or activity. So that means that a noob is someone who is new to the game, but that is something that we already figured out on our own and we do not need Wikipedia for that. But it goes on with the following sentence. Contemporary use can particularly refer to a beginner or new user of computers, often concerning internet activity, such as online gaming. So you are a noob when you are new to an online game. I mean, they could have just formulated that a lot shorter, but for some odd reason they decided to leave it that long. I mean, I am not complaining, but something is telling me that they could have done that way shorter back there. So basically my first option was not that stupid, and that was to just go ahead and teach all of those noobs how this game works. I mean, that sounds pretty decent, right? Well, wrong, because no matter how much you teach them, they will always manage to find a way where they can just slack and they will still end up blowing up your house. But that is not something that I want to talk about right now because that might be bringing me back into tears again. Now let me tell you this, that I am not going to be trying the forceful way again, because that also did not work for me for one bit at all. But that is just a flow though that I am trying to hop like a freaking train right now. But of course there is more to a noob than just the stupid word noob. But I digress. I will be needing a decisive victory right here so that I can finally get some rest. Because well, you might have noticed because of the way that I am acting right now, but I have not slept since the day that my house got blown up. I mean the time that Herobrine was sleeping in my bed. Well, that does not make it any easier to close your eyes. And I mean I still shut my eyes, but all I can see is what my house used to be before it got blown up by that guy. But that is in the past. Now of course I have got a whole assorted thing about all the times that I encountered something that wanted to kill me really bad, so that is not my main concern here right now. I just want to focus on what is to come, and usually that has a lot to do with other people. I mean I can get blown up by stuff, but it usually is not totally my fault. Note the totally in that sentence, because sometimes it actually isn't. I am just being stupid. But with all of that aside, I think that it might actually be time to start actually doing something more than decorating this place. Are you all with me on this one? Now I really do not like to think about that. I mean I could go on dwelling about whatever has happened, but I would rather focus on what is coming up. So basically what is coming up right now for me, well, that is this guy that just jumped into his new home a couple of minutes ago. Or actually not a couple of minutes ago, but rather in the future. I really should not be telling you all this much about this project, but that is okay. I mean I cannot just go ahead and treat all of this like I know what I am doing, because I really do not know what I am doing at all. I mean I am just winging all of this right now because I feel like I otherwise regress, and that is not something that I want to do. I really want to put in the ever forward mindset, because I feel like moving forward and progressing is the best thing that you can do whenever you feel like you are stagnating and feeling complacent. So I really just want to move on right here and get moving so that I can actually finish this and not end up being a complete disappointment right now right here. So let's just hope for the best now. Okay, well of course I will have to get out of this, right? So you know this thing will not work, because I cannot just leave my house unlocked like that, otherwise those darn strangers will definitely be showing up again. So I will need to find something new that will work instead of this. So I guess that this will work, right? I mean there is no way that anyone would be suspicious of just some watery water around this place. I mean it might look like a dump, but that is the point, right? Who would go looking for me at a dump? So I guess that will work out. Wait, what in the world is that? Is that a freaking camera? What is that guy doing? Oh my god, alright, I have already been spotted while my house is not even finished yet. Well, I guess it is time to move again. So shall we just move on then? So as you can see, the night is already falling and we are nowhere near close right now. I mean this is just not something that I do on a day-to-day basis, so I might be a little bit slow right now. So just forgive me for that please, and stick with me until the bitter end please you guys. Now we cannot just hide the house. We have to make this some kind of way where it is just going to be camouflaged really well within the environment. So we will have to make it blend in well. And what better way to do this than to just build the house inside of a lake, right? That is like the best idea that I have ever come up with right now. But first things first, I am already proud of the fact that I was able to get the idea from myself, which I had applied to the chest/stealing problem. So that was a pretty awesome thing, to be honest. But I was able to apply that same idea that I used on the chest problem, and I am going to be putting it to work with the housing problem that I have got right now. But I am just hoping that once I am done with all of this right here, that I can just live here in peace again. But something is telling me that this will not work out the way that I wanted it to. It is just something that I feel coming up. I mean that does not mean that this is a bad thing, but let's just hope that the lake thing that I just built is actually going to be a success, because otherwise I will actually have to turn to my last resort, which would be the underwater base. And I really do not want to turn to my last resort so quickly, because I just feel like there is too much counting on that. So let me just get everything straight right here, and if that is all okay, then I think that we are all done for today and we can actually go on and start doing some actual decorating and stuff. But I will not be bothering you guys all too much with that stuff, because I know that going to IKEA and stuff can be rather boring to show on video. But I guess that this is where I am going to end the video, so I hope that you guys guys enjoyed this video again, and I am hoping that you will all be good and do not come look for my lake house. See you later you guys.